Hello, comics and pop culture people. Brandon wanted me to show my long hair, so there you go. Where Fabio eats your heart out. So there's your wish, Brandon. Along with getting some artwork, he got to have me have my hair down on camera. All right, so welcome, comics and pop culture people. This is a special episode. We're going to have Brandon here going to be unboxing a package that he got from me for doing the hashtag comic book shout out challenge. And we're going to show some books. We're going to chat some comics. We're going to have some other people possibly popping in at some point. But without further ado, I'm going to take you to the room here. And we've got a couple people waiting backstage. There we go. MON Comics and Mr. Obito himself.
Yeah.
Lyle Hobson says, "Good evening, folks." So, hi, Mr. Lyle. So now I'm going to take my hair and put it back in the ponytail that it normally goes into because it's going to drive me crazy and it's making me super hot.
I like to think it's Beavis and Butthead. Oh my God. Obito, you ever watch Beavis and Butthead?
Yes. Yeah, very long time ago, but yeah.
Yeah, we grew up with that stuff, so it's just wild that was considered offensive back then. You know?
Yeah. Well,
it hadn't got a load of
considered offensive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What's
Mr. on the comic rack?
So I gotta tell you guys something before we get this unboxing. I think I told Bigby this, and I had to drive somewhere last Friday to drop off some camping gear, and I'm in upstate New York, so I had to drive 2 hours north of me, which put me like 20 minutes from Canada. And
oh my goodness.
That's one way, and then I had to drive 2 hours back.
Jeez.
So I had my wife's phone mount in her car, and on the way up, I put Mr. Akins on, and I just started to just hit play, and I just watched all his videos, and I couldn't comment obviously, so I was just hitting like as I'm driving on the thruway, and I soaked up all his videos, like his corner box talks, like all his art, his shout outs. He's just crushing it. So I watched him on the way up. And on the way back, it was you, Obito. I was watching all your videos, and I was just hitting like, because that's all I could do. But it was like, this is the best way to catch up on content is long car rides, win safe. Because I found, since I've started doing YouTube and, meeting so many people in the community, keeping up with content, regularly from all these amazing people is really tough. I mean, if 5 of your buddies put out a 20-minute video, or 4 of your buddies put out a 20-minute video, that's 80 minutes,
Right. Yeah.
So it's very hard. Remind me.
And then you got some great guy like me putting out 2-hour-long chats with people.
Well, you're doing shorts. You're doing shorts every day. I don't know how you're doing it, Big B. I mean, I'm also juggling kids over here, so.
Well, I do have that leg up on you. My kids are my son decided today he was too old to go to the parade. We have a week after 4th of July celebration in our town, and he was too big to go to the parade today and get candy from the people throwing candy. So,
dude,
that's one of those milestones,
Wait 10 years to be like, Dad, I gotta go sit down and get some candy again. I want candy. Free
candy. I miss when I used to go and get candy, and you would, I'd always be like, "Hey, there's some over there. Go grab it. Nobody else is getting it. Go get it."
Yeah, right. Yeah, my daughter didn't get that this year. Remind me, we got to go backstage after the show because I had a question for both of you guys.
Okay, no problem.
Just remind me when we end. So, Big B, you know how hard it is to have been sitting on this?
Oh, I know. It's like Christmas. Don't be showing my address, though.
2 days now. Sorry.
Don't worry. It's so tiny. People probably couldn't read it.
Oh, yeah. It's way up in the corner. I forgot that it's not on the, here, I'll cover them up. It's not on the actual postage paid. My print's on the postage paid.
I think.
Probably because I'm printing them at home. Duh. But yeah.
Mr. Akins said he was surprised he didn't put you to sleep when you were watching.
Dude, your voice is soothing. You talk slow. I'm just like, he didn't put me to sleep. I was enthralled. Your love for Iron Man and your collection is pretty awesome. I picked them up when I can, but nothing like yours, man. And of course, John Byrne. If John Byrne isn't mentioned, God forbid. I mean, it's.
As hard as it was for you to wait to open that it was really hard for me to wait for you to open that. I was like, oh man, I really want to see how he reacts and if he likes it and everything else. So,
This is
Mr.
like, yeah,
Akins, Mr. Akins, did you get I gave you a link, didn't I? Did you get a link to jump in? If you feel like it, feel free to jump in.
burn notice. Jump on, Akins. I haven't been on live with you and Obito. This would knock off some big milestones. So yeah, anyone watching this or watches the replay, I'm grateful. Thank you, Brian, for you reached out 2 months ago, I think, and you said I had this idea, and this is what it is. And I said, go for it, dude. That's like kind of when we first met, or we're talking on Instagram exclusively. You got away from Alan for a minute, and I was like, just do it, dude. Like this will work. I'll get behind it. And so you started, I got in, Akins, Obito, Colossus. I mean, everyone just started, Mike from Lunch Money Comics. He forgot to use the hashtag, but I mean, how many views are we up to now? Do you know?
I should have added it up. I didn't add it up. Let's see. Mr. Akins is saying that his link did not work. I'm not sure how many views we've got, but last I looked, we were about to hit 3,000 when we did the giveaway. So I was going to add that up again when we do the next drawing.
I'm guessing close to 4K.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Maybe over.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, well, yeah, because a lot of the videos that I'm doing with you guys hanging out, we're discussing hashtag comic book shout out. So I include those in the shout out videos for people to check out, and kind of get an idea of where we're going with that and stuff. So,
well, it's an amazing movement you created. And I mean, not only am I grateful to win this, but it's everyone in the chat, everyone who watches need to understand, if you're a creator, take the 5 minutes to make a video and give some love to someone. And, all of a sudden you're getting sent a sweet piece of mail. What's up, Digger Jim? How you doing, bud? So anyone can do this. Everyone needs to we need to keep this going, because by Thanksgiving, I'm already sending some stuff to Big B, but if we can hit 10K views by Thanksgiving, which I think we can do, I'll throw in something extra special towards the giveaway too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll hit that. Okay, Mr. Akins, I sent you the link. You might have to cut and paste it into your browser. Sometimes it won't work if you just hit the link off of the Instagram.
So packaged very well. As someone who buys a lot off the internet as my shtick, packaged very well. Feels secure.
Oh, thanks. I tried.
This is surreal. When I asked for Man-Thing being my favorite character, who suggested Man-Thing and Predator fighting? Was that you?
I think I said he's going to ask for Man-Thing or Predator or both.
I didn't realize my limitations, So should I go ahead and do this, Big B?
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll do that. Mr. Akins, did you get that? That it's the same exact link that I sent you before. So maybe cut and paste it and try it again.
Should we wait for Mr. Akins to join?
Yeah, you can start doing the preliminary. You should be able to pull that strip, I think. I didn't tape over the strip.
It looks like you taped over the strip.
Did I tape over the strip?
Oh, wait. Yeah. I've got the Exacto.
All right, be careful. The artwork's right close to the edge. So.
Roger that. Oh, I was able to peel it. Okay. Los's Comic Journey, who I watch, he's a great YouTuber. He uses Exacto too, because I don't think I can be trusted with a bigger knife.
Alan uses a knife cutting stuff open, and I'm like, oh, don't. He's like cutting open packages with Golden Age comics in them. I'm like, oh my goodness.
All right, so just trying to be very gentle, because this is 100% getting framed, and I'm going to space out my Predator. I have a biomass that you can't see on camera from the movie Predators with the half bone jaw, and then I've got my other Predator, so it's going to go between those.
Gotcha.
Mr. Akins, get some sweet tea and jump on here with us.
He says, don't wait for me.
Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So the outer one had tape. The inner one does not.
Yeah, Wanted to make sure it was protected a little extra, so put a double layer of free packing from the Postal Service on it.
Okay, I cannot see this yet. Brandon, thank you so much for being a friend and a member of the Comic Book Shout Out. Hope you like sketch in quotations. So there looks like a comic book in here.
Oh, there might be.
Ooh, bonus.
Yeah, you're already going. This is too much. Oh, also sellers out there, this is great when you leave a little tab right there so they can be easily pulled back. That's a pro move right there. When I'm buying a lot of stuff, I know who to go back with when they're sending it like this. Makes it easier. So he's packaged it in nice Mylar. All right, I'm not even looking at the sketch first.
All right, take the comics out first.
Okay. So great handwritten note. Handwritten notes, man, doesn't happen anymore. Man, these tabs, you are just...
I'm just trying to do the right thing, man.
You're an angel. You are an angel. All right, so he didn't have to send 2 books with the win. This was never stated, but he did.
I wanted you to have those books.
The Blue Devil with etch. Oh my God, dude! This cover, I was looking at this, Big B. I was gonna pull the trigger. Wow.
That's the one I was telling you about.
Yeah, I know, and I'm just like,
oh, that's cool.
It's a secret key.
So, what was the significance of this again? Tell everyone.
It's the first appearance of It's the first conceptual appearance of Justice League Dark. These guys all team up. So you got Etrigan, you've got Blue Devil, you've got Man-Bat, you've got I think Zatanna, Creeper, and Creeper at the very end says, "Hey, we should all get together and make a magical Justice League team." Or some sort of or a Dark Justice League team, something like that. Anyway, so
Black Orchid back here.
Yeah, Black Orchid.
Dude, this means so much. Like, this is like, when you told me about that, it blew my mind. I'm going to read this tonight. Like,
awesome.
Kids are in bed. This is going to be read, and it's earned a spot on my wall. So, wow, thank you for that. That's mind blowing.
I'm not sure who the little weasel thing is on the cover, but some sort of little.
Yeah.
They're on the very middle. Yeah, I'm not sure who that is. Or the little dinosaur weasel looking thing. I'm not sure who that is.
But usually the little ones have a lot of power.
Yeah.
And then
so Angry Otter says, "Howdy, all you crazy cool kids." El Green Machine says, "Howdy." Lyle Hobson said, "Don't use Gorilla Tape." I did not use Gorilla Tape.
Yo, shout out to Angry Otter Comics. This gentleman helped me. If allowing, I don't want to talk about it right now, but if he allows it, I want to talk about it in a future video. But it'll blow minds. It's unbelievable. Just a super nice guy that took his time to help me out and didn't have to. And like, I just want to make sure I saw him pop in. I was like, wow, that's awesome. Hello, Green Machine. So, and then you sent Weapon Plus, World War IV. So, Project Brute Force. Tell me about this one.
All right, hang on. I'm adding Mr. Akins is here.
You got your sweet tea?
I just got through eating Mexican. That's what I was cleaning up the kitchen.
I had nachos just before we came on.
I had tacos.
So this is Weapon Plus, and I believe that is a new version of Man-Thing. It's a new person who becomes a Man-Thing, but he's a military expert, so he's using weapons. So he's got a triple Gatling gun and rocket launchers and everything else. So I think I showed you that one when we very first started talking. I showed you that cover, and you were like, "Great, thanks." I was like, "All right, I got to get a copy to it."
Well, see, so many people start sending. You probably know. So many people start sending you books about characters or things you care about and like, and I've got a notepad now. I just started writing stuff down. I'm like, I can't keep track of all this in my head anymore.
Right.
This is freaking cool. So we've built the suspense. Oh, Secret Invasion poster.
That is an original one that they sent out to the shops to advertise.
Look at this.
Oh, that's dope.
Would you just look at it? That's great. Who do you trust? Wow. And everyone's got like the scroll half look or like integrated into their character.
The scroll chin.
Yes, the scroll chin. That
Yeah.
is sick. So Bigby, this is already above and beyond, but I think we got to get to the main event. And I'm like,
All right, now you flip that thing around to the back. There's another piece of blue tape, and you can slowly pull it up and reveal it if you feel like it.
okay, so flip this to the back. All right, so I'm gonna put it on the camera first.
All right,
Okay, I see it. All right, ready?
all right. It's up to you. You already revealed. Okay, there you go, guys.
Oh,
Oh
I'm jelly.
my God. You've got to be kidding me. You drew this.
Yes, I did, sir.
I am woefully unartistic when I try to draw. Yeah, the trade dresses. This is just going to look so good framed. Wow.
Hey, Trev. Yeah, thank you, and thanks, Green Machine. Yeah, no, I'm glad you like it. Mike from LMC was he was like, I would lay money he's gonna start crying.
I'm pretty close. This just what the Predator means to me, and man, that like to see these two. Wow, yeah, I'm very, very grateful right now. This is
Yeah, I took an original cover, a Mike Plug cover, and original art, found it, and then took out all of his art, left the trade dress up there, and then found a Versus Predator logo and added that in there as well for you. So
I'm really thanks, dude. This means a lot. This is like
I'm glad. I'm glad you're happy with it, sir.
no.
So
I love it.
anybody
I love
who's doing the hashtag comic book shout out, you can have one of those.
I mean, this is just a big beat to talk about one of your recent videos or interviews that you talked with someone about creating comics. Are you going to ink this? No, that's a separate job.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, the guy that wanted me to do the art for his magazine, and then he's like, I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. Who's going to ink it? What do you mean? He's like, doesn't it come with all the art and the inking and the word balloons and everything? So,
Digger Jim, yeah, I'm trying to get a close up so people can see the detail. That is just unbelievable.
wow, that's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
yeah, kind of imagine Predator kind of stalking him through the swamp, and then Man-Thing just kind of bursting out of the water and grabbing a hold of him.
I like that the Predator isn't burning because the Predator doesn't know fear,
That was, I asked, who was I talking to when I was drawing it, and Travis was over, and I said, now the question is, does the Predator know fear?
He doesn't. If you remember the end of the first one, he's fully accepted he's lost, and he blows himself up without thinking twice.
Yeah.
Like that is their go-to. Like he just looks over his computer, and so I really don't think they have fear as the apex hunter they are. So that would make sense. And I would have never thought in a million years, and I probably wouldn't have seen these two on a comic cover together if it wasn't for you.
It's probably highly unlikely.
But in a month, Marvel's like, Man-Thing versus Predator.
Marvel. Well, yeah, Marvel's gonna see it because of your channel, and
I'm sure. Yeah,
and they're gonna go, that's a great idea.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Bigby, make sure you keep your phone close.
It would be absolutely fantastic. A story would be really easy to do with, but this is just wow. So anyone who's done the comic book shout out challenge and is still continuing to do so or wants to get in on it, I mean, look at this kindness. Thank you, Brian, from the bottom of my heart. This is like,
you are more than welcome, my friend.
Like I have a lot of fun giving stuff away, like I try to do giveaways in any way I can. I love giving back to the community and to people who enjoy comics. So like when I get something like this, I know what the person. I don't know what an artist went through to make this happen, but to have the thoughtfulness to do the handwritten letter, send 2 books, send a poster, come up with this this whole. I know what that's like, and I know how rewarding that is. So for being on the receiving end this time, thank you, dude. This was. I can't wait to see who else wins, and I can't wait to see. I'm throwing in. So I've got, I don't know if you guys saw it yet on the stream we did, but this is going into the giveaway, the final giveaway. I'll send this to Big B. So the one in Thanksgiving in November at Thanksgiving. You'll get, this is a 2-pack collector pack of the X-Men toys with like Apocalypse and Bishop. So this is going into the prize pool, and I'm sending more. After what you just did, Brian, there's got to be more. This has got to be huge. So.
You don't have to give me any. There was nothing expected in return, buddy.
No, you know what though? Like Mike said from Lunch Money, kindness just breeds kindness. It's not like karma. It doesn't have to be a mystical thing. It could just be nice people doing nice things for each other.
That's true. Like I said, there's been books that I look at, and there's people that I've met online here, and I'm like, I really want that person to have this book.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
like
I do the same thing. I do the same
thing that I just gave you. I was like, I really want you to have those. I was like, Brandon, I've showed him that, and I'm sure he's going to have not a hard time, but it wouldn't be, you got to go look in. And I was like, I've already got it. Let me just send it to him.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything. And this Blue Devil was on the top of my list after what you had told me. It's going to be a great read. And yeah, thank you, man. I can't say enough. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, sir.
I'm waiting to watch Akins and or Obito to win now.
You don't have to worry about me winning. I'm not going to win.
Dude, it's random.
Yeah, it is. It's a giveaway.
Yeah, I'm pulling for you guys. I want to see. I want to be on the reaction end when you guys open this. When you guys win.
How long did that take you to draw?
Yes. Yeah. How long did it take you?
So I started, I think, did you hear me talking about it on, who was I in an interview with where I was drawing it. Travis came over. Travis and I get together on Sunday, every other Sunday, and we either do some drawing or we just talk comics or we shoot a video. He has a thing called comic talk that he does. So we shoot a video for his comic talk or one of those things. So we sat down and we started drawing, and I think I started drawing about 8:30, 9 o'clock. There's a backer board in there that might help keep it more sturdy.
Well, you know what? You're a lot smarter than me, Brian. I never said I was the brightest light on the corner.
There's a couple backer boards in there, actually.
Hey, what a bunch of geniuses this community is.
And actually, that Mylar, you could keep it in that Mylar later on if you wanted to until you get the frame. It'll keep it nice and safe for you.
Brian, can you just drive over to my house and put this away the right way for me?
Yeah, no problem. I'm not telling you what to do. I just, hey.
No, you know what? Sometimes you got to hold the new guy's hand and, help him realize the best way to take care of this. I just wanted to make sure it's on camera. We got 6 people in here, and people need to see that if they're tuning in. What a talented artist you are, man. I drew as a kid. Yeah. So how many hours? Sorry, I cut out Obito off. How many hours in all?
I would say maybe 4.
4.
And we started drawing at like 9, and I couldn't get the flow going, and then about 10:30, it finally kicked in. When I was trying, the pose for the Predator just wasn't coming along right, and then it just kicked in, and it all worked. So, and then I set it aside, and I'd add, spend 15 minutes, add a little more detail, spend 15 more minutes, add a little more detail. So.
4 hours. I could spend 4 years and not recreate this.
With today's technology, I think you could. I think you could recreate it.
Akins, you know who I am, right, Mr. Akins? I'm 43 and just learned how to make a thumbnail.
You're talking to the person that couldn't get into the stream.
Mr. Akins, I've seen your video editing. You're not fooling me. You're miles ahead of me.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take you off solo layout. We might show that, as more people show it, pop in, we might show what you got out of your package again
Yeah, man.
later. But we can do some. Angry Otter says that they can draw stick figures. Hashtag winning.
Yeah. I want to see those
Oh,
beautiful
thanks, Brandon. The most amazing community.
Seriously, I have one best friend that hangs around town with me still. My town is very small, so being able to jump on with 3 other fellow collecting nerds tonight, 7 last night, 2 the night before, and talk this stuff. Like all of us are always talking to this box, right? It's always like we're putting ourselves out there, we're putting on a show, entertaining people, but this is what I really signed up for. It was like, let me meet like-minded people where I can watch their videos and go, oh my God, that Green Lantern book that Obito has just blew my mind. I don't even collect Green Lantern, I want it. Mr. Akins makes me, want to build a shrine to burn, so and Bigby's just over here guiding us all. So seriously, like, this is just unreal. I'll stop. I'm gushing. I'm just very emotional, right? This is sick.
So so I keep talking about one of the books that we're going to have in the giveaway for the November drawing for the shout out. I keep saying random Deadpool slab. Here's the random Deadpool slab.
Whoa.
Ooh.
So Deadpool and the Great Lakes Avengers. It's a 9.6. It is issue number 10 from the original series of his first series.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I got this. This is kind of just to pay it forward. I got this in a random drawing from somebody else who reached 1,000 subscribers. I think it was Angry Comic Nerd, I think is his name.
I love that name.
I'm probably misquoting his name. I was in Rob's Fat Stack drawing celebration thing, and he hadn't hit 1,000 subs yet. It was Rob's Fat Stack had hit 1,000, and they were doing a giveaway for Rob's Fat Stacks. And the fellow was kind enough to send me that book, so I'm gonna move it into the. Well, it's originally part of the pool of things that are going to be given away for the hashtag comic book shout out in November. So, and
that's super sweet, dude.
Yeah, and I think I was talking with Mr. Akins. The one thing that hasn't happened yet is I haven't seen anyone new who has never been a YouTube channel person jump in and make a shout out. I mean, it's a great way to get started, and there's you can win artwork, you can win books, you can win all kinds of stuff. Action figures. So
that is a great way to get started. I never thought about that. How it's just, your first video can be recognizing someone you watch all the time. And by talking about what they collect, it could be a good segue into what's influenced you to collect. So that's a good idea.
And they're going to get promoted by us talking about them. I'm going to put them on my playlist and push them out to all of my subscribers. So it's going to be, instant pushed into the flow.
Enter the matrix. Mr. Akins,
right? Yeah.
Yes. So. I think what Mon Comics was saying is correct. Is you've got so much content that you want to watch. It's hard to actually sometimes find somebody new that's out there that you haven't seen before, because you want to definitely support the people that you've been watching and continue to watch them. But like you said, I have to set aside a certain amount of time. I said, this is the amount of time today I'm going to do this, because otherwise like you said, you can go down that rabbit hole and it's hard.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that we have to all be watching every single channel that gets shouted out, but maybe just give them a check out and see if they're going to be one that could be added to your list of favorites, or, and give them a sub. It doesn't hurt anything to give them a sub, and helps them with their numbers. So,
have you guys seen? Never mind. I'm going to do a shout out video about them.
Have you guys seen?
don't waste that opportunity, right? But no, you're right, Mr. Akins. I have, like I always say on my videos, I have 2 kids under 3, so I'm trying to go on the lunch money comic schedule of just learning how not to sleep. I mean, I get up for work at 4 a.m. every day. I'm a custodian at a local college. So,
Right.
I try to be in bed by 8:30. How many video, plus I'm spending time with my wife after the kids go to bed. It's like the weekend's is a great time to catch up, but it's like trying to fit it all in. It's tough. Yeah, when Obito got on, I was just drawn to his stuff. I was like, wait, who is this? This guy's, not the demographic of the comic book community usually. And, Obito, I won't even ask your age. I just know you're younger than us. But you jump right on.
He told us his secret age the other day.
He
said something. I gave him a hard time. He said back when I was a kid, and I was like, wait, you can't say that.
Younger than I am, you know what I mean. You get it. You know what I mean.
And I said, okay, I'll give you that. You're a young man. I'll call you a young man.
No, but to have the charisma for a young person, maybe it's just also too, you're more in tune with technology. This was very frightful. It still is when I come into it, and but again, the community reaching out to people, hey, how'd you do this, or how do I do that, and did you have to do any of that at all, Obito, or were you just knew what you were doing?
No. So before I did my YouTube channel I'm doing right now, I actually had a YouTube channel before that where I where it was the kind of talking about games and a whole bunch of stuff about that. And yeah, I was doing that for I think 2 years. I want to say, very long time. I was doing that channel, and I was editing all that stuff. And eventually, it started feeling like work, so I stopped doing it. And then I moved over to this, and then yeah. So I guess I'm very fortunate in the fact that I don't want to say I know technology, but it's a little easier for me than I guess someone like like my mom or something.
MON Comics.
No.
Were you streaming games? Is that what you were doing? Is there a game of your choice?
No, I was just putting videos out about certain games. There was this one game, it was some anime game, and nobody was really making videos about it, so I started making videos about it, and people started watching me, and I did that for a while, but then eventually I was like, I'm kind of not really feeling it anymore. And then a few months later, when I started really getting into comic books, I started the channel, and it's been working out pretty well so far.
I love that you call your mom too.
Yeah. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But literally right before I got on the stream, she was making a list okay, I saw these books. We're going to have to go through this list, and you're going to have to put this on your wish list of books so I can have this for my collection.
They're in trouble.
Yeah.
So Lyle is asking how long everyone's been collecting comics.
Go ahead, Bigby.
Well, I started collecting comics when I was probably a little younger than Obito. My mom got me into collecting things, into sports cards and stuff. And then when I became a young teenager, I decided that I wanted to collect comics. I don't know if any of you guys have watched my interview with Comic Collector Geek, but he had an interesting little. I went into the whole spiel, but I used to be kind of the entrepreneur, the young entrepreneur at school. So I would go and I would buy packs of gum, and then I would sell the gum in my classes.
Yes.
And each piece would cost me less than 10 cents a piece. I was selling them for 25 cents for a piece of gum. And then after a while, I was going to Costco, the warehouse club, and buying the big brick of gum, and then I had guys underneath me where I was having them go and giving them a piece. And then my parents got a phone call from the school and said, "This is how drug dealers get started." But some of the people who had come didn't have money for the gum, so they would trade me comic books, and that's kind of how I got into collecting comics. So
yeah.
It's funny you say that I'm a school teacher, and they would, like you said, they go to the Walmart because they didn't like the snacks that were at the snack bar. They go to Walmart, buy better snacks, and then sell them. And then one of the teachers was like, "Oh, we've got to stop that." And I'm sitting there going, "Why?"
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I should be doing that to make extra money. I could come here and make a ton of money myself.
I won't say that there weren't some teachers who would pay me $0.25 for a piece of gum. I mean, So Lyle says he's been collecting since 1968. So why don't you go ahead and say yourself there, Mon?
Oh, like when I started collecting?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I collected in the 90s with friends, like the hollow covers and stuff, but like not serious. We just bought them to read or cut the panels up to make posters on our walls. My favorite one is actually from Spectacular Spider-Man 200, where it shows the Green Goblin is like the splash page of him riding in on his glider, and like his face is up close and it just says Mary Jane underneath. So I would cut that out just for that. Then I got that in 2010. I had quite a collection. Alan interviewed me as he did Obito last week, and I talked about how I had Avengers #1, CGC 1.6. I had Tomb of Dracula #10. I had all the first series of Secret Wars. I had a bunch of Silver Age Spider-Man, including #5, first Lizard as well, first Scorpion, first Molten Man. But I sold it to fund my engagement ring. I sold the whole collection.
I had a story to go along with that. So I sold my Mickey Mantle autograph ball to buy my wife's engagement ring.
So we've been in the same situation, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're comics. I can get them back later.
Well, I was like, oh, I can get a Mickey Mantle ball. I can get it back later.
10 to 15
no, I can't.
10 to 15 years later, I cannot get an Avengers #1 for under $900. That's just
you learned the rule of 72 on that interview.
That's what Alan. Yes,
that's
exactly.
Right, that's right.
Watch that. Yeah, good call, Mr. Akins. You're a very astute teacher.
So yeah, I would say that just right along with you. I do not have my original collection. I ran into hard times. Family comes first, and you got to make sacrifices to take care of your family. And I eventually I had 2 shops at one point. After selling the shops, we had some financial difficulties, and I had to sell everything I had, and I didn't have any comics for a period of probably 10 years. I didn't have any comic books. I had a few trade paperbacks, and that was it.
So until last year, I didn't have any of this around me. I think I talked to my very first video. I sold all my Magic the Gathering cards because I wasn't happy where the company was going, getting greedy. And I was like, you know what? I could take this $4,000 in Magic cards and buy comics, which I loved, and they'll never get reprinted. If I pick the right ones, they'll probably only go up in value and it's much easier for my kids to have one collectible focus when I go, that this will be theirs, and I can leave them auction house names, and the graded books are kind of that reason too. So up until last year, I didn't have any of this, and then I started like last January, and then once I started watching different YouTubers and getting inspired in February is when I decided to start with YouTube. So this is what's just around me was from like last year. So I wish I had the last comments. How about you, Mr. Akins?
Well, of course I have, like you, I wouldn't consider myself a collector until the last couple of years. I was primarily a reader, and putting them in a bag and a board was just second thought. That was just how you stored the stuff that I wanted to read later. So really, I would say I've only been a collector for the past couple of years. But like you, when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, I realized why I loved the corner boxes so much. That was a whole picture of a character. And then I could cut that character out, and I was stand like they're army men and play with, I'm playing with the characters and they're fighting, so I've got tons of comics that were cut up, so you're talking probably in the 70s, early 80s comics. But by the 80s, I think I was just picking them up to read. And I was just stacking them. And I was that guy, like on Much Lonely Comics, that has all this stuff that was just stacked in whatever box I could find over there. And I had no idea that they were worth anything. It wasn't until a couple of years ago, I didn't even know CGC existed. And I was like, what is this? I thought CGC was a nice way for you to display something you really liked. Oh, you really like that comic book. You like the artwork on the front of it. That's what that's for. I didn't realize it was like, oh, it's a third party person saying this is what this is worth and stuff. So I've got all the comics I bought myself, except for the ones that I cut up as a kid. Those would be late 70s type stuff. So I cut up all that stuff. In fact, I was looking because Alan's going to interview me, and it was funny. I was looking through my collection. I was looking through some Fantastic Four, and I pulled one out, and I'm like, Oh, I kept one. The corner box is cut out, and there's another section that's cut out. I'm like, this is one of those comics I cut out as a kid. So I've got tons of comics back there that I've
It's
had.
interesting. Mint Hunter just came across a bunch of books that had the corner boxes cut out. I wonder if he came across yours.
He may have come across. I think I completely mutilated it. I mean, I cut everything out, every single panel, because something would happen with the ones that I had, because I was playing with them like they were little action figures, and something would happen to them. I'd shoot them with a BB gun. Okay, I need a new one, and cut it out and stick it up there and that kind of thing. So a lot of mine very early got cut up, and I wouldn't really consider myself a collector until the last couple of years.
That's crazy. You and I are pretty close on track then on that one.
I mean, I just got back in 2000 and was it 2008 or 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting books again. So kind of in the same vein as you guys.
Look how much that small amount of time, what you can do. Look what Mr. Akins and I have done, or Abito, in a period of 1.5 years, So you with those few more years on us can really mean,
Yeah, for sure.
Your books.
Before we get to Obito's answer, I asked Bigby last time I was on with him, Mon, how many comics do you actually own?
It's funny. We were talking about this backstage before you got on. So when I got back into this about 1.5 years ago, besides selling my magic cards, what sparked my interest is a local friend of my wife's had 300 comics that her uncles had inherited and given to her from her aunt who owned a baseball card shop. I went over and looked through some of them, and I didn't realize. I saw Spawn #1. Okay, I knew that's a good one. I had Vengeance of Bane. Didn't realize that was the first appearance of Bane, and I was like, she wanted. I can't remember. I paid her a fair price. I paid her like $250 or $300, almost full of like like $1 a book or whatever she wanted. I paid her. I didn't haggle with her. I was like, I could make this work. So I did find the stuff that I would need to fund more. So I graded the Spawns. I graded the Batman. The Vengeance of Bane was 9.8. So I got books to flip to keep going. However, a lot of those books were 90s books. So my actual collection, although was small when I started YouTube, but the way I do my videos now, where I'm, weekly pickups and how the style that I create the content in has forced me to get more. But all I have really is what you see on the wall. So I've got, row of 10 loose graded here, 10 raw here, 20 raw here, 21 graded comics. I think I have 150 comics that are mine that I would never, keys, stuff that I plan on my kids having.
Well, now you have 152.
So I have 2 of these boxes on my ground, and this has my Fantastic Four stack of what I'm working through. So that's where I've got so far with the Kirby and Lee run, plus about 6 graded books. So I think I'm 40 books into that. So that consumes a lot, my man thing. But even though I don't have a lot, I try to make it quality, and what I like and what I love, So not a ton of books, I don't have I don't have the books I started with. I'm very much like Obito in that I'm getting back into this fresh, and building a dream collection. So some days my kid will be like, whoever they take it to, they're like, wow, your dad had good taste. He knew what and it was what he liked. So it just kind of falls in line. Interesting question, Mr. Akins. Yeah, I don't have
Obito. To go along with that, I don't want, before the chat goes too far away, Lyle says he's sorting through 325 long boxes.
I've had to go through 17.
I remember you saying that.
And I haven't gone through all 17 yet.
So 200 to 300 books per box.
I own 3 short boxes.
I got to show you guys sometime. I have a little wooden box that I made in shop class when I was selling that bubble gum and everything. It's got a rainbow shooting star on the front that I did with wood burning. I made it in shop class, and it's smaller than a short box. And I thought when I was a kid, boy, if I ever fill this box, that's a lot of comic books.
So Obito, when did you start this journey?
Yes.
Okay. I would say So I mean, all guys like saying like when I was a kid I was getting comic books. I actually started off with the movies, like when I want to say 6, maybe 5. What was it? No, I was probably 6, maybe 7. The Green Lantern movie came out. You guys know how much I like Green Lantern. And me and my mom would go see that movie. Well, first off, before I was even around, my mom was super into comics. She loves comics. She herself has grown up with it. So when I was like coming around, she wanted me to go see the movies and experience this in a new way. And I saw the Green Lantern movie, and that kind of like that gave me like my spark. And I was like, I remember I had like a little Green Lantern outfit, like I had the little mask and I had a little ring, and I'd run around the house like I'm Green Lantern, and kind of play around.
Right on.
And then during that time, I really wanted to experience the comics, and I have a few books right here from that part of my life, or maybe a little older. But I remember I had I don't know if it was an omnibus or if it was a trade paperback, but it was the Jeff Johns Green Lantern. It was trade paperback or omnibus, and I read that like hundreds of times. I thought it was the coolest thing. Like there was this panel of like Hal Jordan becoming a red lantern and then a blue lantern, and I thought it was the coolest thing of all time. So that's like kind of when I really, really got into comics. And like here's some of the stuff I read as a kid. Like we have a very, very torn Shazam #4. As you see, it's very not in good condition.
We call that well loved. Well loved.
I would say that's kind of brittle even. Here's this one isn't super bad, but it's a Green Lantern. It's a more of a newer one, but New 52. It's not as bad. Even a Green Lantern, some Sinestro. I read that. And this is actually kind of funny. This is from my local library at my, I remember I was 7 years old. It was at my local library at my city, and I never gave it back. I never gave it back. I still have it. It's
confessing to crimes online.
Oh yeah. But yeah. In terms of like seriously collecting, I only really got into that. I was probably around the comic book boom. I started watching like a whole bunch of YouTube on it. At this time, I was still reading comics. I was still very much into it. Like around that time, I discovered Gwenpool. And everyone knows how much I love Gwenpool. It's one of my favorite stories of all time. And even like during class at school, when I would have free time, I would like go on my school computer and I would type in like read comics online, and I just read during my free time. But I really like got like super into collecting, like actually like knowing what key issues are, getting a short box and stuff about when the comic book boom happened. I started watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and then I finally got like to me at least, it was a big book. And yeah, that's kind of how it all kind of started. And now I'd say I have a pretty cool collection. So yeah, that's my story.
Right on.
You're collecting what you like, and that's what drew me to your channel.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't collect what's hot. I collect Green Lantern.
And that in and of itself is hot.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
Can I show this to the watch? People got to see this again.
Oh yeah, we got the new people in the room. Let's see here.
If there's anyone else that just came into the room, this was the first giveaway, a Big B side that I won for the hashtag comic book shout out. And right now, Travis is doing one for Ramuel, who's another super nice guy in this community. Very positive message. And I don't know how that guy does the giveaways he does. He does a giveaway every video. He's insane.
I don't want to scare you, but you've dog-eared your corner down there by the predator's butt.
Well,
a little longer a 9.8. It is now 9.2.
Getting framed right away. Like for tomorrow that I know.
Can that be pressed out?
Yeah. Jeff from Comics Spot will press this out for me.
He'll press that right out, and then he'll wipe it down, and the graphite will come on.
Non-color breaking.
There you go. And I was just like, hey, I don't remember that in the art. Oh, wait a minute.
No, how's that?
There you go.
Yeah, still floored by that. I just want to show the chat that quick. Sorry.
You got it. And what else did you get? You want to show the other things?
Oh, Big B also sent a Blue Devil annual #1. So it's like the first unofficial get together of Justice League Dark, with some characters I'd really like to see, like Man-Bat and Creeper, Blue Devil himself, Etrigan. You got Black Orchid in the background. It's a really like, he saw my Justice League Dark video, and I was talking about the official appearance, because on the 9.6 I have of Justice League Dark 1 from 2011, it does not denote that that's their first appearance. It doesn't recognize it. And then I've looked up 40 issues, 40 Swamp Thing, 49 and 50, and it doesn't recognize them on the slabs either as a first appearance. So it's like, is CGC, are we waiting for them to catch up to what they recognize as the first appearance?
Probably. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But so this, you put this on my radar. I was going to, like, you know, I have a constant list of comics, and I just kind of go down it of what I want to pick up for my next shows. And then he also gave me Weapon X, which is a new breed of man thing with a triple Gatling gun and a rocket launcher, and just a lot of badassery. American flag, very 4th of July.
Yeah, you could use that for your Allen's Stars and Stripes challenge.
Oh my gosh! Don't say anything. Secret Invasion poster with a Skrull chin on everyone. Just it's fantastic. And this is sent to the original comic shops, right?
Yeah, I figured that was timely with the show and everything.
2008.
That's when I sold my shops. I sold my first one
15 years ago.
Yeah.
That scares me. It was 15 years ago. So yeah, all this stuff just for doing a video. Hashtag comic book shout out. Brian was kind enough to pass this all along, and this custom art. So like I said, I can't wait to see Romuald, if you watch this, do a live opening, man. You and Travis, him and Travis should get together, Big B, and do a live opening.
Yeah, well, yeah, with Romuald, absolutely.
We should all be live openings, right? Like when someone wins.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
We'll just have to remember to tell people when they do sign up for do a live opening, sign up for streaming a day ahead of time.
Yeah, so when you sign up for StreamYard, sign up a day ahead of time. They have a 24-hour waiting period, and you want to do this, especially if it's a newer YouTuber that wins, they want to host this on their channel. It's a great live opportunity for more content. And so definitely take Brian's advice. Sign up for StreamYard one day before, else this would have been on my channel. But thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to put it on your channel because it's your thing, but we couldn't wait any longer. I was just like dying for you to open it.
Are you kidding me? I had to lock this in my gun safe so that I didn't like open it. Like I had to have my wife hide it. I had to have my wife hide it for me. I was just like, I could fake an opening, but no, I wanted to.
You're like, I could put the tape back on. Really,
The way you placed it, I could have. That was masterful. So yeah, thanks again, man. This was great.
Angry Otter's got to run. Thanks for coming in, Angry Otter.
Angry Otter,
keep on
thank you. I hit you up on Instagram. Hit me back, please. Give me an answer to that because I'd love to shout you out more.
For sure. So I brought some stuff to show. Did any of you other guys bring things to show off?
I got some cool stuff.
Some cool stuff. All right. Well, let's go. We'll go counterclockwise. We'll go Mr. Akins, then we'll go Obito, then we'll go Mon, and then we'll come around to me.
I didn't bring anything.
You didn't bring anything?
Well, I was showing this off last time. And
you did. That didn't get enough attention. Let's give that a shout out there.
Woo!
And I said, and you said, "Oh, how much did you pay for that?" And I said $650. And I was thinking that's what I paid for my Iron Man #1. No, I only paid $300 for this one.
I was thinking, I was like, really? Is it $650? And I was like, well,
I could hear it in your voice. You're like, oh, okay.
You're my friend, dude. Don't get ripped off.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't want to say anything disparaging to you, especially on a live stream.
Well, the problem is I'm a teacher. You couldn't hide the inflection in your voice. I knew that there. I was like, what did I say? And I thought
might as well be the lie.
Yeah, I thought back and I said $650. I didn't pay $650 for that. I only paid $300 for that. So
there you go. That's a great deal on that. That's a great deal.
Yeah, this was one of the ones that was on my 22 list. I still haven't gotten all those on my 22 list, but I've got one more coming in the mail. I've got an Avengers 57. I think I got a good deal on one of those. And the last one on my list for 2022 is at FF52. So
Nice.
and that's the reason it's last on the list.
Hey, Brian, welcome in. Good to see you here. You just missed him showing off his artwork. I guess we could have him show it off one more time.
You can.
You know,
Um,
let's see. Here we go.
Brian,
He's gonna get tired of just showing it off. There you go. There is the artwork that he won for doing his hashtag comic book shout out.
just stunning. The jewel of my collection now.
You know, I was trying to find a original art page that had giant size man thing, but
Thanks. I don't hear enough of those jokes.
let me show you my giant size man thing.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
No, I think it's very interesting because I was talking with Big B once, and I was like, if I end up winning, this is what I'd want you to draw, So I think it's an interesting question to ask, like people in the chat. If you were to win one of those things, what would you have him draw? Or
yeah. Actually, I would love to hear from people in the chat what they would have me draw. Right, that would be awesome.
I said I wanted to have a Gwenpool as a Green Lantern. That's what I said I'd want.
Wow.
That would be a sweet one. What about you, Mr. Akins? I think I can guess, but
no, I bet you won't. I think we talked about this, or I said something. You said, "Oh, that would be a really cool idea," and it would be actually.
Oh, that's right. Because I said my guess was Iron Man, and you said no, it wouldn't be Iron Man.
No, I would have, and mine would really like this, having Werewolf by Night fight Dracula. I think
that's right.
Cool cover.
So, okay, since you said, all right, you mentioned Dracula. This is one of the books I grabbed for tonight to show.
Yo, what issue is that, Akins?
Say that again.
He wants me to. That's what he wants me to draw for him is Werewolf by Night versus Dracula.
Was there a particular issue where they first fought?
It seems like there is an issue where they fought, and I can't remember what it is.
I'm on it. You guys keep Big B.
Okay.
So this is the first meeting of the Marvel Frankenstein meeting Dracula.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Number 8. All right, I'm jumping out. I know I wasn't supposed to be showing books. Wasn't my turn, but he said Dracula, and I had to show Dracula.
Yeah,
all right.
With that Submariner. Or did it done?
Oh, okay, it's up to me. Okay. By the way, I made sure. I know it was a special occasion, so I made sure to put on my good flannel for y'all guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love.
It's too hot here for flannel, but I do have some flannel.
I'm kind of like I'm like the guy that wears the hoodie all the time, So like I'm a hoodie all rounder kind of guy. But even now, it's super hot. But yeah. So these books I'm about to show you, these are 3 slabs. This is like all of these collectively were my biggest comic purchase ever. It was close to like $200, which I know that some people that's like whatever. But to me, that's like a big deal. I don't get money super often, so like blowing $200 pretty much, it's kind of a big deal. But whatchamacallit, this one here is it's a really cool one. Also, I showed these in my last video, so if you don't want to watch that video, you can just watch this. But you should; it's a good video. So this one, this is Brave and the Bold 76. It's a 6.0 off-white pages. It's a Batman and Plastic Man. Awesome Neil Adams cover.
Yes.
What I really like about this one is I love the angle. So it's like you got Plastic Man up there, and it looks like this villain shooting him, and it looks like blood dripping down. But no, that's just Plastic Man. There's just some Plastic Man dripping down, and even like it's kind of dripping into his name right here on the title. And I think the angle is just super super cool. This is a kind of an underrated gem. Huh?
He's kind of melting him maybe?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, I think this is kind of an underrated gem. Everyone loves Neil Adams, but I've never seen anyone talk about this cover. So it's an awesome one. It's awesome, yeah. This one was my favorite one of the buy. Y'all guys know I always talk about how much of a Green Lantern guy I am. And I'm getting kind of scared because if you don't know Mint Hunter Comics, his thing is like he's really into Green Lantern and he's spending like pretty much millions of dollars trying to get the best Green Lantern collection in the world. I'm not gonna go that far, but I'm thinking about maybe like for the Silver Age non-big key stuff, trying to get like 7.5 or higher. This one is the first one. This is Green Lantern 58 from 1950, 58, not 58. I mean 68, 1968. 8.5, which is a credible grade for a book this old. You know, I'm pretty sure the average grade for a Silver Age book is like a 3 to a 4.5, like a VG to a VG plus. So at 8.5, you know, that's kind of like one of those extinct grades you don't see every so often. This is the first appearance of Eve Dormis, who was a minor kind of love interest of Hal Jordan. Fun little character, and the cover is just awesome. Gil Kane, who did this art, he's my all-time favorite comic artist all time. I love Gil Kane, and this is just an awesome cover. And yeah, high grade. The start to a financial debt journey. And this next one here, my last one of this purchase. This was my first ever signature series book. My first graded, you know, yellow label. This is Doom Patrol number 22 from 1989. Awesome cover here. I love the cover. This is just an awesome cover with like the what do you call that? Like the window tiles or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's signed by Scott Hanna, who is the interior artist for this book. 9/6 in 1989. This is an awesome read, by the way. Grant Morrison, fantastic stuff. I highly recommend it.
Great writer.
Awesome writer. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I got with $200. And I won't spoil anything soon, but I mentioned it to Big B. I did buy a really, really big book recently for close to that amount of money. So stay tuned on my channel for that.
You did well for $200 for those books, dude.
Oh yeah, I think the most expensive thing was the Green Lantern, and I only paid $75. So
that's you did well. You're collecting what you like, and the book's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's so I'm very fortunate that I'm not like a Spider-Man guy, you know, because even though Green Lantern is like on the bottom end of like the DC stuff, in terms of like high price books, you know.
Right. So yeah, Roscoe, you got to get going on some shout out videos to have me do all of those. We got Max versus Bad Rock, Armadillo versus the Porcupine, Stargirl versus Animal Man.
Oh my God!
I think you might be able to just throw out a price there for him, Big B, and say, "I can do it on commission."
Right. Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Roscoe, but he has a show on his channel called In Between the Lines or Between the Lines. And every Monday, and it's a art show where he has a guest, and they sketch and draw, and they have a theme. And I've done a bunch of pieces for that. Actually, my one for 4th of July with Homelander, was
awesome piece.
So I just went and subbed so I can check it out.
Yeah, what's that?
I just went and subbed so I could check him out.
Oh yeah. So he has. It's pretty cool. So he and another channel, TM Nerdy. So they TM Nerdy is the host. He does a lot of the speaking part where he'll be asking questions to the guest and keeping up with the chat with the group, and then they share every other video is on each other's channels. And Roscoe does some great artwork as well. And a lot of the people who we've had in the chats have done. Manny the Hobgoblin Collector is a big contributor to this channel, and I'm going to be a guest on the 17th on their channel on Monday the 17th to do some artwork. So
I just subbed him too. You know how many subs are this is great.
Yeah, so you get to do a theme every time and the person who is the guest gets to pick the theme. So my theme is going to be do a homage cover to a famous comic book cover, but with characters from a different universe.
Ooh.
So that's gonna be my theme.
I like it.
Yeah. So we've had some other cool suggestions. Yeah, they call those and so everybody who watches sends in sketches or drawings. And it doesn't matter your level of skill. You could draw, just stick figurine and do some humory stuff or whatever you want. Everybody gets the same amount of respect and praise from the group. Everybody's, giving everybody encouragement. And it's really cool. And then yeah, I mean, it's just it's a neat thing. I like watching it a lot.
I'm excited to watch that. It's funny Roscoe mentioned what he did. I have 3 books to show quick, and one will strike with him like what he said. Roscoe, this one's for you, man.
All right, hang on a sec. Let me make you big.
Yeah. These are not Obito caliber of what he just. I'm following a hard act after those 3, so I'll just.
Okay. Obito had to follow Alan all the time last time, and Alan was showing off these just amazing books, and Obito's like, "Well."
Yeah, like, he pulled out stuff like the first appearance of Wonder Woman and the first appearance of Plastic Man, and I'm like, I got an X-Men Adventures 1 right here.
He pulled out his X-Men 1 last night in the show, so don't worry, he got gaudy, but we love him. So geek out with Roscoe. I just picked this up. It is Tales to Astonish 53, and I always wanted it because it has the porcupine on the cover. I love obscure villains, and I always just thought he had this weird kind of primitive. He reminds me of that suit in Batman '89 that Mr. Bruce Wayne has, like in his armor.
Oh yeah. He's showing it like the primitive whip, collection of weapons, yeah.
Yeah, so this was like, I mean, this is really super low grade, but it was like $5. So I was like, yep, I got to get that.
That's awesome.
Roscoe like that. And then, of course, my Fantastic Four for the pickup this week was 85 is now scratched off the list. Probably like a 7.0 nice grade for a Silver Age comic. It's beautiful. I always love that cover with them. It looks like, I think they're mind control devices on them.
They don't look comfortable, that's for sure.
No.
It almost looked like at first it looked like they were a little where you would turn to tighten it down, but yes, I realized that's not.
I mean, most of my Silver Age Fantastic Four right now, at least the older issues, I'm picking up for like sub $20. So I feel like any Silver Age sub $20, you can't go wrong. So that was one, and then this one has been. I showed this in a challenge with the Immortal Biggie Shaq last night, and it's kind of gotten a lot of. It's not really talked about, I guess. I had to do some research on it myself, but it got a lot of kind of just people interested. It's Challenge of the Unknown 53. This was a series that Kirby was working on at DC, and then when he left DC, he went to work at Marvel, and he started the Fantastic Four. So the Challenge of the Unknown are 4 people with no superpowers. They just have superior wit, martial arts skill, and they fight some big villains. They're not, small-time villains, interdimensional beings. Anyone tell me what this cover looks like?
I can cheat. I've seen your video.
So it is a straight. I hate my camera right here.
The poses are almost the same for the 4 running characters. Yeah,
great cover swipe. Galactus and the villain and the challengers are facing opposite ways. The characters are running opposite ways at the bottom. Same colors, same kind of feel. So this book, Challengers of the Unknown 53, was Silver Age. It's probably like a 2.5, but it was $5. Like,
well, it's because Dimension Man and his Herald just weren't as cool as Galactus.
But dude, this did it for me. When I saw this, I can't remember what website rabbit hole I went down that was talking about this, and I was like, "That's cool." I gotta have. So I'm either gonna get this one graded or buy a graded one to display by the original. They're 4 months apart too, so. FF came out in April, I think, and then Challenge of the Unknown came out in October.
You're going to have to check that one out. He says, here's a cover swipe. Tomb of Dracula 23 and Batman 227.
Hold on, writing down. To answer Mr. Aiken's question, Tomb of Dracula 18 is the first first battle of Werewolf by Night and Dracula.
There we go.
And I was just checking cover price, man. It's not like a fine copy. Fair market value is $25. Like, are you serious?
Oh, I bet you grab that one up before the next Werewolf by Night series comes out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. So those are my books I had to show this week. Nice.
I'm loving everybody's drawings that they'd have. You Toxic Avenger versus Man Thing.
Yes.
We got what else do we have? Firestorm and Red Tornado, Iron Fist versus Daredevil, Micronaut Man Thing. I'm not sure if they were saying they wanted to see Man Thing as a Micronaut or Micronauts versus the Man Thing. But very cool suggestions. And anybody who wants to have a chance to have me do that, all you have to do, make a video.
Let's make a video.
Not that
Use
hard.
the hashtag comic book shout out.
That's right. Hashtag comic book shout out.
I've got one for you, Bigby. Since you showed the, I went down there real quick and grabbed one. Since you showed the Frankenstein one.
Okay, back to you, buddy. Ah, there you go. Iron Man versus Frankenstein.
This one I had to get because I remember as a kid cutting it out. That corner box right here.
Yep.
It's a perfect picture of Iron Man not to be cut out.
I mean, he's a great little army man right there.
Exactly. Exactly. And then I think I was telling you the story of me going to my first con. I think I was in the late 80s. I was there just to pick up stuff that I wanted to read. And I remember going through and getting all those Eternals. Remember me telling you, got those Eternals, 30 cents a piece.
Yeah, heck of a buy.
Yeah, I didn't know they had shot up so much. But I also remember picking up something else while I was there. I started picking up these.
You lucky.
Oh.
Well, I started picking up these and I kept going through. I said, oh, this is 30 cents. I'll take that one. That one's 30 cents. And I kept going. I said, oh, I'll take that one. That one's 30 cents.
Look at that.
Then I got to the 32 and it was $10. I'm like, that's too much. I'll go to the next
one.
Oh, no. So that's the kind of collector I was at that time. I had no clue what anything was worth. And I'm just collecting stuff. Oh, this is 30 cents. It was about getting volume, getting a lot of comics. But these Werewolf by Night do have some wonderful, wonderful covers on them, especially at the very beginning of the run.
The 32 is a great cover too. I mean, just the poses on that one. I got a 32 in the collection. That's one of the things that got me back into it was I have a friend who shares the same birthday as I do. Oh, nice.
Bondage.
Yes.
From back when I had my song.
You still
I got all these.
Yeah,
I got all these for 30 cents.
You still did very that's
I don't know. The guy that got the 30 cents from me, he got 10 cents more than he paid. He was doing pretty good. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, this is the first time I think I've taken these out.
Yeah,
I've read them.
I'm just
so is 32 the only one you're missing?
No, I'm missing some other ones in here. I really love this cover. This is a really cool cover.
Oh, him breaking. Yeah. You are making me drool, Mr. Akins.
Do you have the Bondage one with him and Spider-Woman?
No. See, that one's another one that's missing. Of course, I had to pick this one up. I mean, that one, because I was such a big fan of Iron Man. I had to pick that one up.
That's awesome.
Gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, but yeah, I've got a lot of the run, but I don't have, of course, number 32.
But do you have the second and third appearance of Moon Knight?
What is the second and third appearance?
I think it's 33 and 34, I think. Or right around there.
34.
Lyle said 31 was the first mention.
I don't have a 31. I've got a 30, and then that, like I said, that they may not have had one, or even at that time, it may have been too expensive for me. And I was like, I'm not going to pay over, $5.
I think he's on the cover of his second and third appearance on both of those.
And so no, there's no.
Okay.
But I remember it being in the box. I remember looking at it and it being in the box, and I'm like, I'm not going to pay $10 for a comic book. I think I only had, $20-something with me. So I was trying to get as many comics as I could for.
That's a cool cover. I like that one.
For $20. So yeah, all these Werewolf by Night they've all got some really nice covers on them.
Yeah.
I think that's what drew them to me was the covers on these. I just love the art on them.
Do you know who is it many different artists that did the covers, or is there anyone primary in that run?
How do you pronounce his name? It starts with a P. Plug.
Oh, Plug. Yeah. Plug
Yeah.
did a lot of them.
He's one of the great Marvel horror artists. Yeah.
Love that skull one. That's sick.
Yes, and again, I think this was that was the reason I was picking these up. I'm like, the artwork on these are just phenomenal.
That's amazing. Hey, fair warning to you guys before we keep going. I have 10% left on my battery, and I don't have a charger that works. So
I'll show one more.
That's beautiful.
That is awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
I can show you 15 Youngbloods all at one time. All the same color.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to show off a couple that I brought just specifically for Brandon. Let's see. All right.
Oh, I love that cover book. That's like 30 little separate mini stories, right?
Yeah, that's the first Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah.
And then they had a variant cover for that one, which is that one.
Yes, my friend I interviewed, the cosplayer that does Predator had that one. I love it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cover. And then, I mean, I know it's not the Predator, but it is the first appearance of
Aliens. Yeah,
Alien.
I'm a huge Aliens fan too. I mean, Aliens 1 and 2 are just seminal sci-fi masterpieces as well. They go hand in hand with Predator, really.
And then Obito, you showed that one off last time.
Yeah, I have that one. That's a killer one.
That's awesome.
I was telling you, we have good taste. We both have good taste.
Oh yeah.
$20.99.
The hot one right now.
I'm not surprised that one hasn't gone up more than it has for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Looks so fairly available.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's classic.
Bazooka, I mean, he's going to take them out himself.
After he actually shoots that thing off.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to take himself and them out. I mean,
love that book. I need that book.
It's a burn notice.
It is a burn notice.
Burn notice, yep.
Yep.
Be one of the best covers of the Silver Surfer ever.
And it's written by Stan Lee.
That book should be worth more too.
Nice.
Jim Lee, beginning of the Hush storyline.
Yep.
Timothy Lee, as he's been known to be called.
First Tarantula.
Mm-hmm.
Tarantula's always in that pose. First Peter Parker, first Spectacular Spider-Man.
Well, it's hard to walk around and not be in that pose. With those
Right.
Nice.
Classic.
Ooh,
Yeah, I like that book.
killer.
Yep. That'll be going up.
Yeah. This one's been going up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. I traded the one I found for cheap, but it was worth it.
You got that.
I was about to say, Mon, you picked that up not too long ago, yeah?
$5. And
these next two, I think, are underrated. These are Liefeld Wolverine versus Deadpool.
That's beautiful.
So, kind of an homage. Whoops, homage to the Hulk issue with Wolverine's claws reflecting the Hulk.
Was it 240 or 340?
340, 344, 340 something.
I don't know. Those books are both going to go up too, though.
And then these next three are super cool. I found them at a shop, and I'm like, wait, I don't remember that being the cover to Superman Batman 8. It's a Michael Turner cover. And then I looked and they had a little tag on it and it says Michael Turner variant Superman Batman number 8, San Diego Comic Con exclusive.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
cool.
And they
I
had
really
it
like
for
that
like
story.
super cheap. I was like, what? The same thing here. Supergirl number 1, San Diego Comic Con exclusive.
I
And
love Supergirl. That's awesome.
another Supergirl San Diego Comic Con exclusive.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And then I have a run of Bernie Wright's and Swamp Thing if you guys want to look at that.
Oh my God! Shut up.
Oh my goodness.
Your
That's
stuff
nice.
is too cool. Stop. I can't.
He's taking the place of Alan.
I know, right? You got the first
I
copy.
just grabbed a random box. I told, or off camera, I was telling him about. I grabbed a random box of stuff to show you. I saw that it had. I didn't tell him that I saw that it had. Yeah,
What was that
aliens.
swamp thing you just showed? Because I really love that cover. That is.
This is Swamp Thing number 4.
It's almost like
The
a
House
House
of
of Mystery
Secrets.
cover.
Yeah, House of Mystery, House of Secrets in the
Yeah,
background.
House of Secrets cover. I wonder who did the artwork for that.
That's Wrightson, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Bernie Wrightson.
Legend.
Robot.
Just awesome.
Man, I need to get some more Swamp Thing. These are cool.
Yeah, I just grabbed a box. Got a whole swamp.
This book. This is first
Oh.
meeting Swamp Thing and Batman.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a cool one. And just a couple more. This one is not Wrightson. But this one is my favorite Swamp Thing cover ever.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Yeah, that's a nice one as well.
Just love that, him coming out of the water. And 2 more, and then I'll be done. And this one, that one was the last Wrightson one, and then this is, oops, wrong way. There we go, that way. That's issue 11. So there you go. Yeah, I had to, Alan had to be represented. All right. Well, you said you're almost out of battery. Do you want to show your stuff one more time?
Yeah, so
Just in
hashtag
case anybody showed up late. Let's see here. There you go.
hashtag comic book shout out, and Big B will do something amazing, or Travis. So that's the now the jewel of my collection that will be getting framed tomorrow after I get the dog ear pressed out. And
the dog ear doesn't matter.
so that's amazing. And then on top of that, I'm kind of going backwards now. Secret Invasion poster from 2008, which will also make a great piece of art on my wall. The Weapon Plus Man-Thing. These are just throw-ins, mind you. He only ever said anyone who participates will get a piece of custom art. So out of the kindness of his heart, the poster, this book with Man-Thing, because he knows I'm a fruitcake for it, and annual number 1 with the first unofficial Justice League Dark appearance. Yeah, just amazing. Thank you again, Brian. This was just mind-blowing.
More than welcome, my friend.
Mind-blowing. I can't even, dude. I'm gonna be riding this high for a while. So thank you.
You're more than welcome, sir. And anybody who wins the drawing, I'm more than happy to do it for you. I really want to promote that, growing the comic community, and it's just an honor to do that and to be able to help everybody come together. So.
Oh, you know what? I was going to do a shout out video for Mr. Akins. Already did him. Was what's his name? Who'd you just do recently, Mr. Akins?
All sorts of words.
What an incredibly gifted man.
I typed in his comments. I said, "This is what happens when a well-read writer does a YouTube channel." My channel is what you get is when a redneck math teacher does a YouTube channel about
I love it.
what's funny about that all sorts of words. Before he even did his first YouTube video, or maybe it was the same day, he emailed me, like me specifically, and was like, "Hey, I just want you to know, like, you were the inspiration for my channel and all that stuff." And I was like, "Whoa, like that means a lot, because like I'm just some kid in my room talking about comics, and I like started I don't want to say like a career, but like kind of for another person out there, like that's kind of cool." And as you see from like his other stuff, I mean, there's some big people talking about him, like you guys and like Alex the Camcorder and stuff. So I think that's kind of cool,
Yep. So I can't do that now because someone's already done it, Mr. Akins. But thank you for bringing him to light. I mean, I'm not shocked, Obito, that he found you as an inspiration, because you just came, rearing on the scene with charisma from a young man that just is passionate about it, and he's done the same. And Mr. Akins, you're right. The writing part of it, like you can tell, and his editing style, and the three things I learned from 1 month on YouTube just resonate with, like, I think everyone. He's absolutely right. He nailed it.
Yes. He's very engaging. He has a great camera presence. He has a nice voice, all the things you need to be successful doing this. He's got it. And so, and like you said, I've watched some of his things over and over and over again because it's just so funny. Some of the stuff is so funny.
He's going to blow past me pretty quick. All of us pretty quick. He's amazing.
I think so. I think so. He's making me want to, but just about everybody does. I watch people's stuff and it's like one big long commercial for comics. I'm like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that too. And now he's got me looking for Vampirella stuff. I'm like, I was at a flea market just a couple of days ago, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if they got any Vampirella in here, with the Mad magazines and stuff that they had sitting up over there.
That happens.
Yes.
Hey, I want to show you guys something that I want to. I think Alan wants to get from me. I found it at my Golden Age honey hole.
Yes.
Oh, good girl.
She's tied up.
And she's tied up.
I don't know if you guys can you see all the knives that are being thrown at her?
Yes.
I just picked that up. Whoa.
She's tied up, and it says he wanted love but got death.
Alan's probably on his way to your house right now to get that.
That's from 1948.
Look at that condition.
Yeah, it's in great condition. Yeah, and I love, how he's talking about how they put in real big letters the words they want you to read. So it says revealing detective cases. Like, can you read the word cases over there in the corner? Revealing detective
cases.
That's awesome.
Good stuff. Yeah. I was like, oh, I gotta show that. And I know Obito's mom likes the crime stuff too, so.
Oh, she loves the crime stuff. Every day she's looking at the crime stuff, but then she's like, "That's too much."
So the guy that I go get stuff from, this is a magazine, not a comic book. But I was looking through, he had a pile of them, and I was like, this was the only one where she was tied up on the cover. And I'm like, how much for the detective magazines? He's like, $8 a piece. I was like, wow. And I looked at the date, and I was like, pulled it aside, set it down. And he goes, no, $5. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's great. This is the cover alone, worth the price of admission.
Right.
And hopefully Alan doesn't have it, and you can show it to him.
Oh, he doesn't. I showed it to him. He's like, oh, I kind of want that. I've showed him a few things that I have. I think it's in this box. I was going to show it tonight. And he's like, I don't have that. He showed it on his best. Where is it? Hang on a sec. I don't have that. He showed it on
after pulling out this Werewolf by Night with his sister chained up over there, I know Alan's going to want to see that one. I'm like, ooh, that's a perfect Alan. I think Mon has left to go plug in his phone or whatever device it was.
Oh, he may have died. His phone he was warning us,
Well, he was talking about it dying, and he was looking around before it went away. And I bet you he's going to find something to plug that thing in and try to come back in.
He said something about he only had one charger that worked. So I gotta find this book here. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. Well, I was sitting there thinking of all like Obito. Really, my first YouTube channel wasn't about comic books. Unfortunately, it was about math. Nobody is watching that one. So, you could probably find Aiken's How to Math. The only thing you're going to see is my hands and me working a bunch of problems. I use that since I'm a virtual school teacher to do my asynchronous learning. And and when he was talking about, oh, y'all are just starting and you've got some edit. I learned a little bit of editing before I started doing this one because I have a bad habit of smacking my lips. And I was like, I've got to figure out some way of cutting that out. And there must be a way of cutting that out. And I figured out a way of cutting that smacking out. I'm like, good. And that's where
I used to have that same problem, but then I kind of trained myself to like stop doing that,
Exactly. I'm trying to think about how I'm saying things so I'm not doing that smacking all the time.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here's the book. So this was on, actually been on a couple of different shows recently.
Comic War.
Did he show that, or who showed who?
He showed this on his greatest Silver and Golden Age comics, or
yes,
Golden Age comics of the week. And then I just saw this again on what's his Dave from Comic Book Investments had a copy of this. It was we got another guest. It's Brandon. He's back.
His device is plugged in.
I've gone computer mode. Sorry, gentlemen.
There you go.
Go to plan B.
Good, man.
Go to plan B.
I found the book I was trying to find.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so this has been on. It's on Dave from Comic Book Investments. Just had one. I think he was asking like $5,000 for it.
Yes, that's what it was. He was asking an enormous amount of. I was like, wow, really?
What was it graded? CGC?
Yeah, his was graded CGC 9.0. So this one's not graded at all. It's Atomic War #1 from 1952. You got New York City getting blown up. And Alan just had this also on. It had a record-setting sale just recently. So it was on his Saturday or his Sunday video of record-setting Golden Age books or whatever. So.
And that one, Dave from Comic Book Investments had at that 9.0. Didn't he say it was like the second or third highest grade or something? That was it was so.
Lyle says he has 2 copies of that. That's awesome, Lyle.
Whoa, Lyle, your collection, dude. I got to find you on Instagram.
I mean, 325 long boxes he's going to go through. I mean,
right?
If there's something out there, he probably has it. I need to hit him up for some
right.
Iron Man comics.
What kind of Green Lantern you got?
Everyone's getting vultures in the chat.
Exactly. We can't help it. We can't help but go, what's in that box?
Can you hook me up, brother?
Exactly. I'll help you bag them. Let me just look at them and take it and put it in the other bag for you. I'll work for you and help you bag and board all that stuff.
We'll work for comics.
We'll work.
I mean, look at Mike from Lunch Money the other day saying like it was perfect in that video how he was like, I didn't pay for these comics completely yet. He's going to help that guy. And to have to bag and board and research, you guys know what it's like just to research some comics that you're buying or talking about on a computer to sell those in the way Mike's going to with complete honesty and transparency. Is going to take a lot of time. So we joke about that, like 325 long boxes, but like it would be so daunting.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, I bought that 17 long boxes and I've probably gone through half of it, and I bought it in January. So now I've gone through half of it. I've sold about 2 boxes worth of it, and I've got 3 boxes that's sorted and ready, meaning I've already posted it on eBay. And it's ready for me to find, like eBay written on the outside of it. So you're right.
On man thing.
It is the gentleman whoever had it. He had them up in his attic, He just wanted to get rid of them, but he had taken out everything that he thought might be worth something. You may have a whole run of something, but there's no one. So you can have.
Was he right? Was he right with his choices? Like, because sometimes number one isn't the best, like Werewolf by Night 32, I mean, that's a prime example.
But it's all 90s, I've been finding some unique things like the protectors with the force beam hole punched all the way through it. I find it so fascinating by, all the gimmicks.
There's a book in the 90s that they had the print run. They fired a bullet through the books.
So that's awesome. So yeah, he was pretty good about taking everything out, but I was able to get the comics for 13 cents, basically a piece. And I feel like I'm running a rescue home for comics, rescue shelter. I got all these comics. And I'm going to find somebody that's going to love these comics. I'm going to, it's my mission in life that instead of them sitting up in the attic, burning up there, I'm going to get them out to somebody that's going to want these comics. And
so Lyle's saying there's a copy of that Atomic War online for sale for $18,000.
Very reasonable price.
Better be graded at that price.
That's like 3 Showcase 22s.
Exactly.
Seems reasonable to me since I own a copy. I mean,
and that kind of went to all sorts of words. His last video is talking about what kind of collector are you? Are you A? You got $2,000. Are you going to buy one comic? Or you B? You got $2,000. You're going to buy two $1,000 comics. Or you D? Are you going to buy 1,000 $1 comics? Where are you at in your comic book journey? And like he said, Obito immediately goes, that's this many.
I thought the same thing when he said that too. And yeah, you're right, Mr. Akins. When he started doing, he made me think harder, the hardest I thought since 9th grade algebra. It's just like, oh my god, this is crazy. So Obito saying that was it's same thing. Like, I was like, oh, that's 4 FF keys that I could knock off. Yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah. But I like what he's doing. I mean, he's trying to save money. He figured out his calculations from 1 year to now, where he could buy some really huge books, And I think Bold and the Brave 28 is that first Justice League.
Right, yeah, Brave and the Bold 28.
Brave and the Bold 28, FF1, X-Men 1. I mean, so it'll be interesting to watch. And he's like, I'm just going to put out content. I'm going to not, be so much as showing comics. And I'm like, that's how good that guy is, because I'll still watch his comic content even if he isn't showing me books, because he's just able to create, and then I want to follow that journey. I have to have the help of these beautiful books to ensure people might come back, and my friends are watching. But yeah, so good call. Big V, is there anything on your radar that you're trying to save up for right now?
I wanted to do a video at the beginning of the year, and like I don't know if you guys saw where I said I need to, bad. I want to buy big books, not a bunch of small books. But I'm so it's hard for me not to hunt for bargains. So when I go to like a place that has, $2 bins or $3 bins or whatever, and I start digging through and I go, oh, that's worth $10. Oh, that's worth $20. And I come up with a stack of 100 books. I could have spent $300 on, but in my brain, I'm going, well, now I've got, instead of $300, I've got $3,000+ worth of books that I could then, if I can get at least half of what they're worth, then I'm going to have, so I'm multiplying my money without actually having to really do anything other than use my smarts of knowing what's what, so.
Yeah.
And but like Mike says, I don't believe in like going to places and ripping people off. But if it's a business and they have their books priced at a certain point, then I feel like that's the asking price. When I had a shop, when I had the asking price on something, I knew that I was making a profit based on what I bought that for, and I was happy that people picked it up, whether it was worth more than what I had priced at or not. So I feel like, all right, since I endured that, went through that as a business myself, other people that should be the thought process. And there was one of the early shops I went to when I got back into it. They had a $2.98 and $2.99 of ASM for $3 a piece in their back issue bin. And I was like, are these prices right? And I was expecting them to go, no, we got to look them up. And they said, They said, no, actually, we're having a sale. Everything's $1 off. And I was like, all right. So I picked up the books and I said, these are worth more than that, right? And the lady said, I know that, but was there a 300 in there? I said, no. She said, I picked up the collection. I picked out the ones that I wanted to make a good price on, and the other ones I put in there for guys like you, because I know you'll be back week after week digging through those bins, and it didn't cost me anything extra. So
that's just smart sales. Now, would you hold it against me in that vein, right? Mike said that, if you went to a shop, or you said if you went to a shop and, the people weren't great. I went to that flea market store. So it's like the store with like a bunch of different vendor booths, right? And this guy had 2,000 comics, and that's where I found the Hulk, or not the Hulk, sorry, Wolverine 88 for $5, which is like, in that grade, it was probably like a $75, $80 comic. Now that guy wasn't there for me to say, hey, this is worth a little more, like, is that, like I'm thinking about the.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That Atomic War that I bought, I got it in an antique store. This is an antique store where people should be educated on their antiques, right? They had a $5 price tag on that. I'm more than happy to pay what you're asking for that book that you've had all the time in the world to look up and price and do and put accurately in your booth. And obviously they're, like I said, they're making their profit off of what they paid for it. So they probably paid $1 or 50 cents for it, or a quarter, got it in a giant collection and put it out for $5. So
yeah, that's a great way to look at it. I mean, I've been back to the place once and I didn't find any more keys it's probably just a few obscure things where the gentleman, I think he's an older guy, older than all of us, that just had these comics, just wanted to throw them there and wasn't aware of how Deadpool and Wolverine were entering the MCU, and their first meeting was inflating the comic that corresponds to that, like how
when he priced that book and put it in his back issue bin, he did it according to what he paid for the book and set it at a profit margin where he was comfortable making a profit of what he was making off of the book that he was selling.
If he was an educated store or booth, he would take the time to look, like you said, look through the stuff, do the research.
Yeah, myself, when I had my store, I didn't have the time to go through all of those back issues every single day or everything, and I was happy to say, all right, if something jumped up, we didn't have Key Collector back in the day or that kind of stuff where it was telling us week by week what's jumping in price. But we had Wizard Magazine, which would have the books that were, the Hot 10 or the Hot 20 that they had on their list.
Wizard.
Yeah, you remember Wizard. But yeah, if I didn't have the time or didn't feel like taking the time and somebody else was on it, good for them,
Yeah.
So
Obito, yeah, that's all we had was Wizard Magazine that would come out and tell you the prices.
And it was out of date by the time it came out.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the apps have made it so nice these days, especially for finding keys. Like when I was at that flea market, I saw an Avengers book that a YouTuber had, and I knew it was a key. I knew it was a smaller key, but being able to go on Cover Price and type it in and it says, yes, first appearance of blah, blah, blah. Like, that's indispensable knowledge at our fingertips that just make hunting so much more fun and easy. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Nostalgic Podcast says, I think Lilith, Draco's daughter, will show up in the MCU on this Halloween's Marvel special from Disney Plus. So
there you go.
By the way, do you guys know who Nostalgic Podcast is?
no, I don't.
Oh my god!
That's
So I got to tell the story. So a while back, I made this video about the angry girlfriend variant for Amazing Spider-Man. I think 13, first appearance of Green Goblin. Yeah. Everyone knows that story, right? That's him. That's the guy. He reached out to me and said like, "Hey, that was my book and everything." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. So yeah, that's him. Nostalgic Podcast. That's him.
Shut
That's
up.
awesome.
Mhm.
That's
Nostalgic,
awesome.
you were a legend in this community, Nostalgic.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you're right. Lilith's daughter will show up, I think, maybe to go against Elsa, against Ulysses' daughter. But did anyone see anything specific? Bigby, you said they're coming out with a new one in September. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, somebody told me that they're coming out with a new one. I don't. That's just a rumor that I heard. speaking of daughters, when you were saying Vengeance of Bane, do you know the significance of that title? Just the title Vengeance of Bane?
Something to do with Talia al Ghul?
Bane's daughter's name is Vengeance.
Oh, okay. All right. Good call.
Yeah.
Good move.
So Vengeance of Bane.
I didn't collect those, so I just knew it was Bane's first appearance, and I was like, well, this will fund these will fund more books since I don't.
Where'd you get that? Hello, sir.
Yes. The piano music is playing in my head right now. As soon as I start looking at that.
I'm going to watch that special after we get off tonight, by the way. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, comic books. You know, she's
comic books. I'm excited to see. You got to tell me afterwards how your wife likes the artwork. So.
Oh, I brought you guys to know I brought her in.
Did you?
When I got up and walked away, she's got to come see this. Her jaw dropped. And she looked up at my wall and she looked at Man-Thing and looked at Predator, and she's like, she is a huge fan of the she doesn't do comics much, but movies, Predator, she loves it. It was a mint. What did he say?
It was a mint Amazing Spider-Man number 14 book before it was trashed for no good reason. I bought another one. Thanks, Overtoe.
Bless your heart, Pod Blast. That could have happened to any one of us at any time in history. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned for comic books. I quote Brody from Mallrats.
I mean, how much is that thing worth? Because it's got to be. I mean, what would you rather have, that or a signed copy by Stan Lee? Sometimes some people may want that. I mean, that's like a one of one.
It's comic book history.
Right.
Was it you, Mr. Akins? I was talking about having the bin with people. So I had a bin. I don't know if you guys caught this part, but I had a bin where people could bring in. It was either a quarter a piece, or you could bring in 2 comics and trade them for 1. So it was my way of encouraging reading with kids. So really, all you ever had to get started was 50 cents, and then eventually bring in another. You could keep reading pretty easily, right? Well, one day my employee goes, "Hey, you're gonna want to check this out." I'm like, "What's that?" He goes, "This is one of the books somebody brought in for the 2-for-1 box." And I was like, it was Amazing Spider-Man 23, the first green. They traded it in for the 2-for-1 box. Yeah, for the 2-for-1 90s books box. I was like, who did that? He's like, I don't know, some guy. I'm like, well, we got to give this back to him. He's like, I haven't seen him since. I don't know who he is. I was
like, that reminds me of this story. So at my school, there was this random guy I knew, and he was like, he knew I was into comics, and he mentioned like haphazardly, like, oh yeah, I got like a whole bunch of like 40s Batman books that just chilling in my basement. And I was like, give me your contact info right now so I can go like see these books. Never saw him ever again. Never again I saw him. And it was there could have been a Batman 1 in there, and I'll never know.
Mr. Akins is looking for Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm always looking for anything below 50. That's what I'm looking at, is anything below 50. I've got a 1 and I've got a 3. And it was funny today. I was thinking about that, do I really want to complete this run, or do I want this, or do I want this? There's so much stuff that you want, and I'm almost like the fighter pilot in Star Wars. Stay on target. I've got to set some type of goal for myself to go, okay, I'm going to find these, and not look at anything else after I get this other one I'm about to get off of eBay, and go, okay, now I've got to focus on those Iron Man. I wrote them down on a piece of paper today. I said, okay, I've got this many. If I get this many every month, I'll be done by this point and stuff. So, but I also kind of want to get them and them have some type of meaning about where I get them from. Sometimes I don't want to just buy them off of eBay, go to a con, get them from somebody that I know off of a claim sale, whether Mint Hunter Comics is doing this claim sale and one may pop up. I'll know this is where I got this one from. Because I look at all my comics, and most of those I bought myself off the rack, and I can remember me buying those things off the rack because I was a reader, and the stories have some type of emotional context to them.
Right.
Me buying stuff off of somebody from like Mint Hunter Comics, if he had a claim sale, I would remember buying that from him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
eBay can sometimes be really impersonal. It's almost like going to Walmart. Yeah, click it and I got it, and you go to the next thing. And so,
Yeah, but except for like with Golden Age books and stuff like that, because it's really hard sometimes. Like if one, like I know Alan gets excited if a book pops up on eBay that he hasn't seen a copy of in 15 years.
Mhm.
It's like, holy crap!
Yeah, I
That
was
never
looking.
shows up.
I was looking because I've been doing that series where I show a golden age, a silver age, a bronze age, copper. I've been doing that one, and I'm like, I don't have any golden age comics, and I had to get a facsimile. And I was looking at it, and I was like, let me look on eBay and see if there just happens to be one. And you're right. For that thing, the last one sold in like 2016, or
Yeah.
it's not like an Iron Man #1. If I want an Iron Man #1, I can get online and I can get one. Some of those others, you just can't click a button and get one and have it delivered in a couple of weeks. It's just not happening.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Gladiator first. Yeah, I have that. Actually, I picked that up off of eBay myself for, I think it was like $25. Because I love obscure villains. Mr. Akins, do you have Iron Man #7 or 8?
No, I do not have #7 or 8. He's gonna pull Alan here and go, well, here's a.
There they are.
Let's talk Werewolf by Night.
Oh, well, that's
there you go.
Very doable. That's very doable.
I like Gladiator. I love this obscure villains, and I found I think Whatnot claim sale. I think that's where I got these, and I didn't have any Iron Man in my collection. I've since picked up some later issues, but I know they mean more to you than me. This let's see, 7's in really nice shape for its
it looks
age.
like it's in really nice shape.
You could see the colors. 8 you can tell is a little more dull, but still they're not horrible by any means. A little bit of corner stuff up there, but we should definitely talk via Instagram.
Well, we will talk via Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. Podblast, Gladiator already was in the MCU. He's in the Daredevil TV show.
Yes.
Yes.
He's the guy that made the suits for Matt.
Yeah, I mean that was his shtick in the comic too. He made first he was just like a dry cleaner, right? And he was getting mad that like superheroes could just go out and create suits and be superheroes. So Foggy was impersonating Daredevil to impress Karen Page, and the Gladiator was like, okay, I'll build you a suit, and then he's like, I'm going to build my Gladiator suit. Whoops, Foggy's butt. The Daredevil actually had to show up and take him out because he got it over. What we do for women, guys. So yeah, we got to talk, Mr. Akins. We can make this happen.
Okay, we will.
That's awesome.
See, we're making connections here. We're making progress.
This is what it's
yes,
all
you have to
about.
watch that show, Podcast. It's really good. It's really good. And the Gladiator character, there's a kind of a sympathy theme to him too, because he kind of works for the Kingpin, and Daredevil's trying to make it so he doesn't get him in trouble, and it's really good.
Yeah, Pod Blast, that the purple on that cover, both covers. I mean, they're just who did some of the work on Iron Man. I believe 7 for sure, and I think 8 is Johnny Craig of Pre-Code Horror fame. I think he was an inker in them, so that was the significance I found out about them when I was doing research.
Really, Johnny Craig did those 2 covers?
Yeah, worked on them in some capacity. Let me.
And see, and that was another thing. I'm not that knowledgeable about some of the Pre-Code Horror, and when I was looking at that Vault of Horror, it was a Johnny Craig cover.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
started doing research about Johnny Craig. I didn't realize he was as influential as he was.
Yes, I just looked it up. He's the inker. He's the inker on 7.
Nice.
Okay. So that's definitely really cool. That I had his crime suspense stories that I traded for FF52 or 49 because it just meant to me. But Johnny Craig, yeah, he's iconic.
We got to figure out a way to do trades amongst people that are, because I know Obito's mom likes a lot of crime, and I was telling you off the air, Brandon, I've got this whole box of Golden Age that he goes, make sure you grab a bunch of stuff to show, and so I'm like, well, the first box I grabbed is random Golden Age. He's like, random Golden Age? Yeah, it's just stuff that I've picked up at yard sales and junk shops, or my Golden Age honey hole. A lot of times I'll take stuff that I don't really care a lot about, and I'll take it there to him, and he'll look at it and go, "Oh, I want that and that and that," and then we'll do some trading, and he goes, "Well, you're a little bit off, or I owe you a little bit more." And he has when I go there, I'm gonna have to film, but he has a chest of drawers that just has a bunch of random comics in it that aren't the stuff that is key, and he'll be like, "Just pick out 25 books out of that chest of drawers, and we'll call it even." And I'm like always looking like, okay, highest grade copies of, and a lot of times it'll just be random like Disney books or whatever, but they're from the 1940s, you know. I'm like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna argue about it. I'm just going, okay, I'll take some books out of here. But that a lot of times it'll be like a high grade, like The Perfect Crime. You know?
There is no perfect crime.
No, there that is true.
Except for that cover. That cover was sick.
Police came. I mean,
Ken Shannon, the bullet riddled
bookkeeper. Police comics.
All right.
Comics.
Or you'll have like a bunch. They're like a whole bunch of crazy old westerns, you know.
Red
Rider, but they're like really high grade. I mean,
those are in nice shape.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't say no. So yeah. So there you go. That's why I have random Golden Age books. So yeah. But hey, Comics Limited, hey Trav, I've been talking about you a lot tonight.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. We showed off Brandon's artwork, and you know, we're getting ready probably to wind it down here, I would assume.
Do you have
Western Ghost Rider? I don't have any Western Ghost Rider. I wish I did. I've seen some cool ones. Alan had a good thing where he was showing the character who becomes the Western Ghost Rider. He's like the first appearances in like something like Calico Kid or something. But
my wife's like, "Guys having fun?" I'm like, "What does it look like?" Of course, I got lights on. I got comics around me.
Yeah,
she does get that.
I would imagine you're probably wanting to wind it down here pretty soon with.
No, it's okay. She does get that. She does see what this is, what doors this is open, and meeting people that share in this hobby. And she's probably a little relieved that I'm not like, "Did you know that the Punisher first fought Daredevil in this issue?" You know, and she's just like, "I didn't know that, honey." You know?
Well, I don't want to like slam the doors on any of you guys. If you guys are wanting to hang out, you're more than welcome to hang out.
I do have to go relatively soon. Joking aside, I do. My 10-month-old likes to wake up for one feeding in the middle of the night still. Obito, I know this may be the future for you. But my 10-month-old likes to wake up for one feeding, and I like to let my wife sleep on the weekends because during the week, like we try to split it up, you know, if I
I get you.
baby. So I do like to try to go to sleep. And
yeah, for sure. Does anybody else have anything else they want to show off, or should we do?
Yeah, I got a little something.
Yeah, let me say Obito before we go. And I want to talk to you guys backstage too for a second. That's why I was like,
yeah, for sure. Well, we'll go ahead and.
So I wanted to mention this real quick. So, you know, earlier, like when I hit like 100 subscribers and like 200 subscribers, I really wanted to do like giveaways. But, you know, at that time, I just, you know, couldn't. I pretty much didn't have any money and stuff like that. Now, you know, I'm a tad bit liquid, so I can make some stuff happen. So when I hit 300 subscribers, I want to do a giveaway, and I started to do like a little stack of books. I don't have a big stack, but it's going to get bigger of books that I want to give away. You know, some books kind of like this one right here.
Nice.
Hey,
oh my God, I love that one. That cartoon is so special. I watch that with my 3-year-old every Saturday.
Yeah, this one's a cool one. Give away that one too.
That's a good one.
That's a good
From
one.
Arthur Adams art right there.
Yeah.
Stuff like this.
Dude, you're giving away fire books.
Yeah.
I know. I'm giving away some cool books, and I'm giving away kind of some more random stuff, like a couple modern books like this. I'm thinking about throwing in there. So yeah, to anyone watching who doesn't know me, I'm Obito Comics, and if you subscribe to the channel, you could win some free books. And yeah, that's it. Just want to do my quick little promo.
Shameless plug. No problem. No problem. Actually, all these guys, if you guys aren't subbed, please sub them up. Obito, what's on the comic rack, and also Brandon over at MON Comics.
Thank you.
So, for sure. And you're already subbed to me, or you're just watching randomly, you could sub to me as well. Big B McFly, the comic guy.
The Godfather.
So what have you got coming up next week, Big B, any of your videos or shorts?
I've got a shout out lined up, and then of these, I think I'm going to use these 2 boxes of stuff that I grabbed to make some shorts. So I've got a whole chunk of Lois Lane, which I know Obito likes Lois Lane. Big giant chunk of Lois Lane. Huge chunk of Superboy with a whole bunch of Neil Adams covers, and then all this short box of Golden Age Random. I'm going to probably try to do some stuff where it's like war or Western, or 3 war or 3 Western, or 3 what have you.
So one shot video and your shorts.
Yeah, I'll probably do some more shout outs as well. Have you guys ever noticed how badly racistly they drew comics back?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't even have to go that far back.
1953. I mean, it's World War II, right? But oh my gosh.
So, Obito, what have you got planned for next week? Any videos for next week?
For next week. So on Monday, I'm going to be going with my mom to San Antonio,
Nice.
which is and there's some cool shops there. I got some money I saved up specifically to try to get some really big books. So excited for that. And then hopefully the Friday when I get back from that, I did buy kind of a big book for the personal collection on my comic shop. It's an early Green Lantern key, single digit Green Lantern key. And I'm super happy with it, and I hope people are going to be happy with it too. I got it for what I thought was a good price, but it just turns out Green Lantern keys are really cheap. So, yeah.
I'm sure you did good with what knowledge you have now, and that's the joy.
Oh yeah, I'll give a hint. It's one of the only Green Lantern villains to ever be in live action.
There you go.
There you go. So that's your hint. So stay tuned.
Okay.
And Brandon, you got anything in the pipe for next week?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna do this was supposed to be a video, but Big V, so we should go live, and I said absolutely. So I'll just continue pumping my most recent video, which all of you guys have participated in, and I appreciate that. With my interview with Anthony, so there's a way to get in a giveaway there, which has a few steps to get in between subscribing to me and following him on Instagram. But just leaving the hashtag if it bleeds, we're going to donate $1 combined to the American Stroke Association. So I'll keep pumping that. And then I will just have my regular MON mail, the books that I've got in recently. Nothing, no crazy books. I've kind of been saving like some of the better books I've been saving for my Halloween special, which it's my favorite holiday. So I've started a collection of books that'll make a big show for that. So I got big plans for that. So just a little bit of the regular, Mr. Akins, just some.
So not $1 for each time it's put in.
No, I know. I saw you try to cheat the system.
Just like if it bleeds, if it bleeds, if it bleeds, if it bleeds.
Exactly. I appreciate that. This is coming out. I've already got some stuff on eBay. I'm preparing to sell like old collectibles and just stuff that I like, extra stuff laying around. I don't need to help fund that, because I have to work overtime or sell collectibles to get money for what I do. So, the charity is important to me, and I just wanted to make sure I can raise as much as possible. So thank all 3 of you for participating in that already.
Yeah, you bet. And Comics Limited wanted me to say, he says, me too. Yeah, sub up to Comics Limited. He's Travis, the other guy who's doing the artwork for the other giveaway, which we were all hyping you up, talking about how we're gonna have to do a giveaway special for when you get your piece over to Romuald.
Check out Comics Limited too. If you're in the chat, check out Comics Limited Instagram. He's incredibly talented too. When Big B told me who was going back and forth, I started looking at both of them, and I was like, oh my gosh, both these guys are just gonna make some people really happy, and mission accomplished already over here. So
You want to do one more time? Show your stuff off. We'll wrap it up in case
Handwritten
we've
note.
got some other video people, some other people who just jumped in the.
So obviously the biggest thing is the Man Thing Predator custom drawing that he did, which is just out of this world. It's going to look great framed. And then the handwritten note is always appreciated. That's like, you don't see that anymore. Weapon
Classic.
Plus Man Thing with a Gatling gun, which is just badass. Secret Invasion poster from 2008, which is now getting close to vintage when it hits 20 years.
Yeah.
And my personal favorite, probably the annual #1 Blue Devil of first unofficial appearance of the Justice League Dark, with some characters I'd like to see in the Justice League Dark. Man-Bat, the Creeper. That's really cool. So thanks again, Big B. This was amazing.
Yeah, you bet. No problem.
Everyone get in on this funness.
Travis says he's working on the sketch.
Can't wait to see it, Travis.
Working on the sketch tonight. Awesome. Well, I've been talking every time I've had a live stream. I've been talking about the great work you're doing on it. I have seen a bit of the sketch. You should stick that in the back of the thing with the drawing, and then you can just have that there. You know, when
again,
they frame it.
Again, are you flying over? We could get this done right. What I wish I could get a glass, like a glass frame for both sides. You know.
Yeah.
And then I could just have it so I could turn it around and show that note off.
It's not like I'm like a truly famous person or something, you know.
Oh, you will be. You will be, my friend.
I'm getting a little long in the tooth to have that happen. I hope someday that I get to do an actual cover for it's a bucket list thing, but you know. Mint Hunter got to do something for what was it for Gargoyle? Yeah, so
you keep coming up with ideas like the comic book shout out, you'll get recognized, man, at some point.
Somebody somewhere will see something. Actually, Comics with Bueller has told me he knows a few people, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna start mentioning your name around. It's like
it's all it takes, dude. Be a good person, you know, it'll come back to you. And that's the networking that falls within this community. All of a sudden you start to realize like how small the world is. Like Mr. Aiken said, you want to find a big book, you want to find an Iron Man #1, you want to find a Hulk 181, you start to know the contacts that if you had the money, you could get it. You know,
yeah,
you have the money, but you can find them now.
Or, you know, you just, like you said, be a good person and treat everyone cool, and like crazy things happen. Like Bueller had somebody send him a Hulk 181 just out of the kindness of their heart. You know, they were like, I want you to have this, you know. So I mean, you never know.
You don't. It's
crazy stuff happens.
It is amazing.
I mean, Obito's seen it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
still one of the best days of my life. Straight up.
All those X-Force I got from Mr. Akins, I love them. I do.
I'm filling your boxes full of junk now.
No, I get to read them. Man. And it gives me, if I come in here in my coffee and read some and have 5 minutes to myself in the morning before I, you know, da-da, you know, that helps.
Oh, you get it. Now you're going to look for it. He'll send you 20 copies of the same issue of Youngblood.
I was going to say, Youngblood's next.
Yes.
Do you like Youngblood?
How many issues of #4 would you like?
Oh my god!
I think there's about.
That used to be a key back in the day. That was the first appearance of Chapel.
Yes.
So,
got the market corner.
I need to write that down on every one of them. And
Big B McFly says this used to be a key.
In fact,
back in the day.
If somebody buys this lot, that will be on there. Check out Big B McFly. He said this used to be a key.
You got the market corner. You got the market corner. This is great.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get this squared away, and then we're going to hang out for a little bit backstage. So I'm going to tell everybody, show your love of comic books with everyone you meet. You never know where it's going to lead you. It might lead you to a chat with a bunch of guys like these fine fellas. So
thank you everyone for watching the live stream. Yes, I finally got to do that with Obito. That was huge. Thanks everyone for coming and hanging out.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Good night.
Bye, everyone.